welcome everybody to Unity of Kona as we prepare for our service. Just take a moment and shut your cell phones down and hold a thought of prayer. Mahalo kia kua. Thank you, God, for the blessings this day may bring to the world that we share it with. May it be exactly what people need to hear and love and hold in their lives. And so it is. Amen. Mahalo. Aku mau mau. Aku mau mau pa. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no awe mele e ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai ona mea huna no awe mele e ho mai e ho mai e ho mai ka iki mai luna mai ona mea huna no awe mele Good morning and welcome in Unity of Kona. What an honor it is to be here in beautiful Kailua, Kona, Hawaii, sharing a little bit of aloha to the world as we start here with the Hawaiian prayer chant, the E O Mai. The A is the beseeching, the Om is the Great Spirit above, and the Mai is our ancestors. As we beseech our ancestors in the Great Spirit for the wisdom, done in 3 octaves for layers of meaning within the stories. First is the stories being told. Why would we be telling these stories to our children? And the highest octave, beseeching them all for the wisdom of our life experiences that become our stories. With this knowledge, we never have to repeat things over and over again. And with Eala A comes a dawning of a new day, and every day we get a chance to do better in our lives. And so it is. Amen. And now we also have another opening prayer with Kayla Harvey. Please welcome Kayla.
Let's just take a moment in prayer. Let's take a breath and turn within. We remember that God is present within us and within every person we meet. We are one in divine love. Today we affirm that we are open and willing to listen with the heart. We release the need to judge, fix, or prepare a response. We make room to truly hear, to listen beneath the words, and to recognize the sacred humanity in one another. We trust that divine love is already present and active in every encounter. We are guided to listen with compassion, curiosity, and understanding. We give thanks for the gift of being heard and hearing others, and the opportunity to offer that gift. And so it is.
Thank you, Kayla. And as we get started with our service, I'll have everybody please stand. We'll do together our affirmation, vision, and mission statements. This month's affirmation together: divine love guides me to see, hear, and honor the sacred in everyone I meet. And here at Unity, we come together with a vision, a world family of oneness, peace, and love, with our mission to inspire spiritual growth and service through the active practice of love, prayer, faith, joy, and honoring everyone as a child of God. And so it is. Amen. Mahalo ke kua. Thank you, everybody. And as we have our singers, choir coming forward, we're going to do an opening song called New Beginnings.
Feels like you've been here before. Echoes from years ago. Trying to break the pattern to find peace of mind and create a new life. You can't stay. You're on your way to better days. You're breaking away. This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. Now you can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye to days before that left you spinning. Now this is your new beginning. Taking time to heal your wounds. In your mind, flowers start to bloom. There is beauty in owning your past. You are free, make the good times last. You can't stay. You're on your way to better days. You're breaking away. This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. Now you can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye to days before that left you spinning. Yeah, this is your new beginning. Be kind to yourself when you fall back. You are not lost. You are right on There are many roads to be traveled. Take a chance and dare. Yeah, this is your revival. This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. Now you can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye to days before that left you spinning. Yeah, this is your new beginning. Your new beginning.
Woohoo! Thank you, everybody. And while we're here in the sanctuary, let's take a moment and we'll just say hello to one another, greet your neighbors, and anybody new here in the sanctuary. We'll want to acknowledge anybody. If you're joining us online, please leave a little comment in the comment section so we can honor you also for joining us. So thank you. Absolutely. Leave us a comment. We're a joy and a pleasure to share with all the world. So if you're watching us online, definitely leave that comment here in the comment section. Facebook, YouTube, wherever you may be watching from around the world. Welcome and aloha. And there'll be more time for fellowship because we have cake upstairs. So after service, please join us upstairs for some more fellowship time as we move forward in our service. Thank you, everybody, for joining us online. And anybody new in the sanctuary we need to recognize? I think we're all pretty much familiar with one another. Oh, Pat, would you guys like to tell us where you're from? You got, yeah, Pat and Mark. You're here in Kailua Kona? Well, welcome, my friends. Yeah, so our musicians, we have special music today with Lauren, with Pat and Mark. Beat you? Peg. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, Peg. Anyway, they're from Kailua Kona, so welcome them and welcome everybody online with a great big... Oh, my sister right here behind you guys. Yes, what's your name, dear, and where are you from? Sue. Is a Mainlander? You're from Big Island. 35 years. I tell you, once you find your passion in Hawaii, there's no better place in the world. And we'd like to share it all out to everybody with a great big aloha. Welcome and aloha. And what an honor it is to be here in Kailua Kona, Hawaii. And you guys got to come visit me. Uncle Jim right here sharing a little bit of aloha. My name is Jim Carey. I get all the grief. But they keep looking for my big checks. Until I get some big checks, I'm just going to keep sharing aloha. But if you come back, visit, we'll go tour. And it's an amazing place to visit. There's so much going on. So definitely come and see us if you can. Now is the time in our service where we'll do just a few announcements. But first and foremost, we are a prayer ministry. We have the prayer request forms that look like this. In the back of the sanctuary, there's a little wooden box. There's also one up in the office. Leave your prayers here, and we'll send them on after our chaplains pray over them to Silent Unity. Silent Unity is a ministry in Lee Summit, Missouri, Unity Village, and throughout the world, Unity churches share their prayer requests to the vigil. It's 30 days of consecutive prayer. The lights are always on, and the power of prayer tenfold when two or more get together. And so when you have the Unity community sharing prayers with you, you know these prayers are being heard. So please do that and download the app. That's a Be Unity app. And with that app connected directly to your phone, you got instant connection to prayer, meditations, affirmations, articles, all about the ministry. And so please do check into the Be Unity app. And for just a few more announcements, I've asked Patrick to come up and share what's going on with the church. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Uncle Jim. Good morning, everybody. Team member of the month is Tani. Thank you so much, Tani. Tani serves as treasurer of the Unity of Kona Board of Trustees. She brings food for fellowship, helps set up for Circulation Day events, and helps with other Unity of Kona activities and events as she's able. Tani, you're a bright and shining light, and we are grateful for your spirit of aloha and loving service. We love you. Thank you. Dondi Nueva is our board member of the week. Dondi's our board president. Feel free to discuss any questions you may have with him about our spiritual community. Wave your hands wildly in the air, Dondi, for us, please. Thank you. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the concert at Hale Hale Vai has been canceled. The online auction will continue, however. Continue to be on the lookout for potential auction items. Discuss more with Elaine. Elaine, wave your hands wildly in the air, please. Thank you. We have a board of directors, a board of trustees opening. So if you're interested in serving on our Unity of Kona board of directors, please see any board member after service. All board members, please raise your hands. Thank you. If you're interested in serving on our board, let us know. Monday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m., we have Dondi, who leads a ukulele jam session here in the sanctuary. Bring your uk, there's some to borrow. Come learn, play, and share. Our next choir practice is here in the sanctuary on Friday, August 14th at 6:30 p.m. And for our regular weekly and monthly events, there's a flyer on the small table at the back of the sanctuary. Feel free to pick one up. And as you all know, it takes a village to run our spiritual center. And Unity of Kona depends on each of us. Please consider just volunteering just 1 to 4 hours a month in any way you feel called to serve. Sign-up sheets are in the back of the sanctuary. Your support is essential, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. And he does so much around here, it's crazy. So thank you, Patrick, for all that you do, because I don't know if anything would go off without the help of this Unity community. So it really is a team effort. And with the announcements finished, let's move right into the service with our daily word. And today I've asked Tani to come up as our volunteer of the month. I'm going to make her volunteer one more time. Thank you, Tani.
Work. That's all I do. Okay, so joy. Joy lives in my heart and blesses my life. Joy lives in me as an aspect of my divine inheritance. I believe it as the love in my heart and the peace in my soul that colors my every experience. Even as the rhythms of life shift, joy is my constant companion. When living feels light, joy is in the harmony in my relationships, the laughter in my celebrations, and the satisfaction in my soul. When living feels heavy, joy is still present as my peaceful bearing and faith-filled presence. My joy blesses me daily, but it is not for me alone. I share it generously. I rejoice in being a source of light in times of peace and a shelter in times of trouble. I am blessed to live a joyful life. I affirm God's joy is my joy today and every day. So Job 8:21 says, He will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. All right, let's repeat. Joy lives in my heart and blesses my life.
And so it is. Mahalo keakua. Thank you, God. Thank you, Tani. And with a little bit of joy in our hearts, let's move forward into a moment of just being. Take a deep breath and find your comfort place, that little space between your thoughts as you rest your eyes. If that feels comfortable, plant your feet on the floor and just breathe. Then as we breathe in the light of love that surrounds us, we see and visualize this space as a beautiful heart. And as we exhale, we let go of all the things that we don't need to hold. And then breathe in that light of all the love that's around us. And as we see this expanding to every person in this sanctuary, feel it breathing in, expanding to every person, every being on this earth and in this world. And in this space we've just created, if there's any thoughts and prayers you have for any loved ones, the world, or any situations you might know, let's take a moment and hold it in this space, the space between the thinking, the light within each one of us. And as we hold this space of love and life expanded to the world, let's come back to this place. And as we hold this thoughts and prayers for everyone we know we now can let it go and let God deal with all the situations. And we'll come back and do our prayer for protection. For the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Mahalo keakua. Thank you, God. And now it's time for music. Lauren and his friends, Peg and Mark Bishop, coming in here to share this light and love of their music. And so welcome, my friends. Thank you so much.
Aloha. Can you hear me okay? All right. By the way, this is Mark and Peg, and they both sing in the Kona Choral Society with me, so we're lucky to have them. It's always been my goal to get 4-part music back in churches and stuff, so we'll
do our best.
So we're very lucky to have them today. Be Thou My Vision is based on an ancient Irish prayer poem from the 6th to 8th century. That's something like 50 to 60 generations that people have been saying these words and singing this. The original text is a lorica, which is a prayer for protection and spiritual focus, asking God to guard the singer's mind, sight, and heart against worldly distractions. And there is music on the chairs if you guys want to share that and join in. We're going to do it 5 times. We're going to do the first verse is going to be free with me and Peg. And then there's going to be a 4-bar intro. Since I can't be 2 places at once, I recorded myself. And then I'm going to sing bass. So I'm going to go through all 3 verses once the time starts, and then we're going to go back to the first verse so you can kind of get used to the melody. And Peg is singing the melody, so if you hear her.
And the last time we do it, you've already heard it 4 times, so get out your little sheet and sing that first verse.
guys want to join in?
Oh, amazing. I got goosebumps. Thank you so much. Pat and Mark, you guys are amazing. So we'll have another moment for music here in a little bit.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right, brother. I know you just want to keep playing. We'd love to sit here and listen to you for sure. God bless you, my friend. All right, my friends. And so now it's time for our speaker and coming in with our meditation and message. He's going to tell us all about the heart here and the gifts of the heart. And so please welcome Kayla Harvey. She is amazing, and she definitely presents here quite often. So welcome, Kayla.
All right, we're going to gather for a meditation. Allow yourself to just take a moment. Take a slow, comfortable breath in and gently let it go. Allow your body to soften. Let your shoulders drop. Your jaw relax. And feel yourself settling into the support of your chair. With each breath, allow yourself to become a little quieter. Let the busyness of the day begin to fall away. These next few moments, You don't need to do anything. You don't need to figure anything out. Simply arrive here in this moment with yourself and spirit within. Now bring to mind a person or a moment when you felt truly heard. It may have been someone who just listened, someone who didn't try to fix or change your experience. Perhaps they simply stayed and gave you their full attention. Remember what that felt like. Notice the sensation of being seen, of being valued, of being safe enough to simply be yourself. Allow yourself to rest in that feeling in this moment. Let yourself receive that gift of being heard again. Now gently turn that same loving attention that you have felt back towards yourself. There may be something within you that's being asked to be heard. Perhaps a feeling, a need, a concern, or a hope. You don't need to name it perfectly. You don't need to understand or change it. Simply be willing to listen. Let yourself be quiet enough to notice what is happening within you. Nothing forced, nothing to fix. Simply listen with compassion and curiosity. Trust that whatever needs your attention can be heard right now with love. Take a next few moments to sit with spirit in the stillness, thanking yourself for this moment of reflective listening. Coming back to this moment, we simply affirm within, I listen with the love of spirit. Gently bring yourself back into the awareness of your breath. Take a slow breath in and let it go. And when you're ready, bring yourself into the awareness of your body, the gentle awareness of this room, coming back into this moment, back into this space. We gently wiggle our fingers and toes, stretch if you'd like, and open your eyes back into this space together. It's a beautiful feeling to carry with us. Glad to be here today. Has anybody ever made a silly joke or a comment and you're in a group of people and you look around and everyone's just kind of giving you this weird look? Except for the one person in the corner who has this little smile and chuckle. And you think, that person gets it. They get me. We could be friends. That's an important moment, isn't it? It's a beautiful feeling. And it's because we spend so much of our lives wanting to be understood. Feeling heard, that desire to really be heard and seen, is a core human need. Being heard and seen communicates to a person, your life, your inner world matters to others. When we really see and hear them, we're saying, your experience is worthy of my time and care. Now, despite our true oneness, felt separation is a part of the human experience, isn't it? Well, connection, real, deep, true connection, eases that experience of separation as we rejoin with all the parts of ourselves in each other. It brings peace to the human spirit. It reminds us that we belong with one another. Now, feeling heard is not just about receiving sound, is it? There's a lot of sound in the world. A deep listening is receiving a whole person. Now, we don't have to agree with a person in order to receive them, to honor their experience. We just have to give someone that loving, attentive openness. That openness, that presence, the deep listening validates their existence. It eases emotional pain and it builds connection. Now, most people don't need us truly to solve their problems. They're pretty smart. They know the options, they know what they can do. They just need to know they're not alone. That we get what it feels like to feel the feelings they experience. Now, I really hope you were able to think about a person that makes you really feel heard, or a time you experienced this in your life. Now, when we think back on that, really think about what that was like and what they did, or what this person does. The answer usually isn't something miraculous or spectacular. They're not a superhero or someone outside of the normal humanness. They probably just slowed down. They stayed. They let you speak. They didn't make it about themselves, and they were curious, open, receptive. Now, listening, really listening to a person requires this intention. It requires patience, presence, and to fully engage. And when we do so, it brings such amazing transformation. In the 1950s, Carl Roger and Richard Farson developed person-centered therapy and active listening. They believed that empathetic listening creates safe space for us to grow and to have self-discovery. Now, it's incredibly effective as a therapeutic practice, and most of our therapeutic modalities are in some way based on this person-centered listening. They believed that if we all engaged this type of listening, it could truly improve and transform all of our relationships. Now, many of you have heard of these listening ideas and structures. They go by many names. Active listening, empathic listening, heart-centered listening, reflective listening, all just minor varieties on a very similar idea. Now, Carl Rogers believed that the core faculties and conditions for healing needed empathy, genuineness or congruence with ourselves as we talk, and unconditional positive regard. All of which are present when we're actively listening as the divine. Now, empathy is our ability to understand and share feelings with others. It's putting ourselves in their shoes, to know that experience within ourselves, what it's like to be sad, to hurt, to struggle. And we focus on their emotions, their experience, their viewpoint, and set aside our opinions, our bias, whatever's happening within us. Now, the evidence, how do we know that evidence of somebody listening, really listening, starts with that full attention, doesn't it? Just that turning towards. The body language, we often notice the shoulders and the mid-centers are turning towards the person that we're listening to. We might lean in, nod, and give those minimal encouragers, We give culturally appropriate eye contact, as it feels comfortable, of course. But we show them that my soul is listening to your soul. we have moments of pause. And then there's thoughtful verbal reflections. We might repeat or paraphrase, summarize what they expressed so they know that we heard them, that we got it right. It sounds like I'm hearing, so as you said. Then we might even ask open, relevant questions like, can you tell me more about? Now, Stephen Covey included this in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and talks about that we listen with our eyes and our heart as much and maybe even more so than our ears. And like many of the programs he discusses, our main goal is to understand, not to reply, not to fix. Very important. Now, being heard is a lot like this. It's not just validation, it's a reflection, and it helps the person speaking understand themselves. This is a very popular therapy meme out there, talking about how therapy works, the idea that we come in with our tangled mess, and we have someone just reflectively help us untangle that mess, to just say, this is what it looks like. Is this what you said? It's a powerful image. Now, listening does amazing things, and we have so much data. I've been a part of many programs, one of which was a nationally instituted program for intensive home-based services. And it was designed for families about to have their children removed from child welfare, right on that edge. And they would instead institute a home-based counseling service for 4 weeks in the home. And our challenge was to find out what was really going on. What were the real challenges here? And institute resources, help repair relationships, and put in support services. Now, this is a tough thing to do anywhere, let alone do it as a somewhat outsider in a very close community like this. And this is really sensitive stuff, and it's quite invasive to go into somebody's home and ask them to open up about all of their problems. Now, these families, let's be clear, they did not want this service. Very few people want you to come into their home unannounced, let alone for 4 weeks, be involved in your problem and see every bit of the mess. Now, unfortunately for them, it was a bit of a forced choice. Either you can engage this help, or you can face the consequences of what might happen if you don't. So in order to be effective, to make a difference, to help, we had to have trust first. The only way to build trust, to understand their problems, was to really listen. And the training for this program was intense. We met together for weeks, and for a long time, they are training us to go into a family's home for an entire week. That's 3 sessions, could be up to 3 or 4 hours at a time. Just reflective listen. We were not allowed to ask any questions. We could make a statement, no questions. That's incredibly difficult, but I will tell you, if you continue to repeat someone and what they said to you, this has been really difficult. You don't want us here right now. This is incredibly hard for you. Boy, there's something incredibly powerful that softens the heart. I've also been a part of many suicide intervention trainings where they help you recognize and intervene in moments of crisis, in moments where things are really painful. And where active listening is the main component, as well as selective listening. They teach you to be non-judgmentally present and open, listening to understand the pain, but also listening very carefully for their reasons for life, and simply handing that back to them gently and lovingly. Research shows that structured communication methods like these, true listening, not only increases feelings of being understood, it increases clarity between people. It activates the brain's reward and empathy centers. It reduces stress and defensiveness. And most importantly, it increases trust. Now, I'm going to share a relatable scenario that maybe most of us have been in at one point or another, and hear how listening, really listening, makes a difference. Imagine a couple sitting at a kitchen table. After a long pause and a long day, one says to the other, "You never help around here. I have to do everything by myself." The other immediately hears accusations and says, "That's not fair at all. I worked all day too, you know." And now they're both just defending themselves. The one is trying to prove and list all the things that they do, and the other is just trying to prove that they're not a bad partner. They're not a monster, and their efforts are reasonable. Neither is really listening anymore, are they? I think we get it. We've all been there. Suddenly, after all the intensity, the second partner realizes, wait, we're getting nowhere in defending ourselves. Can I start again? They each take a breath, and the second partner says, "When you say you have to do everything yourself, what does that feel like?" The other partner gets quiet. Gaining clarity, the first partner says, "Honestly, I'm exhausted. And lately I've been feeling like I'm carrying this burden alone." Underneath the complaint was a need to feel support, to feel cared for, to feel connected. And instead of responding to the words as an attack, someone finally listened to the person underneath. Now we know how powerful this can be because for those of you who know anything about nonviolent communication, NVC, it's a technique that listens below the main argument to hear the feelings and the needs underneath. And this is something that they use for political discussions, for war-based conflict. This technique is used. The strength in it, I think, is finding our common humanity. That common sense of separation and pain that we all go through, and getting it on some level. So we don't just listen with our ears or even our heart. What I think is important for us to know is we actually listen with our nervous system. And those of you who heard my talk a couple weeks ago know about the nervous system when we were talking about mirror neurons, which I've talked about here many times before. It's those specialized brain cells we all have. They're responsible for imitation-based learning. It's like when you smile at a baby and the baby smiles back. It's learning through imitation. That's mirror neurons. It's learning the emotion through you. So when you notice someone experiencing an emotion on their face, in their body, on some level, it activates that same neural network inside your emotional center, which makes emotions contagious. Now, while there can be good benefits of that, which we will discuss, I think this is why we often jump to advice, we cut people off, or we become defensive. Because to be honest, the brain treats listening as a threat to our comfort. We want to fix their problems for a quick safety for us. True listening requires patience and emotional energy, which sometimes we don't have. That's okay. But it requires sitting with our own discomfort. We give advice because we feel more in control. And most people don't want it at all. That's not what they were looking for. They just want you to hear them. They're looking for someone to join them in that moment of human experience. They're asking for love in the form of separation. They're saying, please, I feel separated. Will someone join me so I am less alone? That is what our requests for support, our expressions of need really are. And as Gottman, the great couples researcher, John Gottman, he says that we're all looking for bids for connection. Did you see that bird? or gosh, I didn't like my sandwich, was a bid for connection. I'm asking you to connect with me, to remember my wholeness. And he emphasizes that our response should not be a fix. What they're looking for is a phrase he says, "Oh, my poor baby." They're looking for us to say, "Oh, my poor baby," when they come to us with their feelings of disconnection. That's all. But in order to do so, we have to be clear enough within ourselves that all of that internal mess isn't happening with us right now. Because if we're trying to help someone and we are so full of our own chaotic feelings, thoughts, focus, it's like trying to pour more tea into a full cup. If we try to pour in more when we are full of assumptions, feelings, opinions, rehearsed responses, defenses, there isn't much room for another person's perspective, is there? Listening requires emptying ourselves and to be the peace of spirit so that we can be present to reunite. Now, certain topics and certain things are going to upset you. It's going to be hard to hold back your emotions and thoughts. Things are going to be triggering, but that does thwart empathic listening. So we need to understand ourselves. We need to know our hot button issues. We need to know what makes us feel anxious, defensive. And when we are triggered, we need to take a breath. We need to ground and center ourselves back into the moment now, back with our connection with spirit. Now, I think sometimes we're struggling to listen to others because, let's be really real, I think we struggle to listen to ourselves. Really listen to ourselves. And I don't mean it in an egoic sort of, or even a judgmental way. I mean listening to what's really happening within, without judging, just noticing, identifying and accepting our feelings, recognizing the beliefs. Emotional intelligence is the foundation of empathic listening. We must first know thyself. Metacognition, the thinking of thinking, recognizing my thoughts that I'm having as someone is speaking, and the mindfulness to be present. So we are asked to reflect on what is coming up with us. Even now, as I'm speaking, what's coming up for you? Being aware of those feelings. Now, our feelings are messengers, and we remind ourselves, I don't got to follow everyone. You don't have to believe them or give in, but you do need to hear them with curiosity. Because if we don't listen, they'll speak up in silly, sideways ways. Your feelings are important. The thoughts are speaking to you, and hearing them allows us to address them. Now, often we hear a voice of a protector, a part that is insecure, afraid, defensive, and sometimes we need to hear that voice first and then keep listening. Keep listening until we hear beyond that noise and say, tell me more, to that voice that says they're afraid, to the voice that judges, tell me more. Help me understand. And be willing to hear the real truth of ourselves, of our own voice, our own soul. And to do that, we must make time and space in the quiet. We listen well when we're present, both internally and externally. We're present when we're not caught up in all of those fears or our ego, and we center in spirit, in the safety of the oneness we know is true. That's what helps us be present with others. Now, many do so in the silence. Many spiritual practices encourage sitting and seeking the silence as a space of guidance, a sacred space to hear the divine within. Without silence, there is no listening. So we practice sitting with ourselves, first listening to the thoughts, letting them settle, and then listening below the thoughts. The space isn't empty. Silence makes room, and it's a rich, active space where the energetic field can speak. It softens and restores peace. It realigns us as the divine presence. Now, Eric Butterworth, a very prominent minister in Unity, had talked about hearing rightly, listening for spirit behind the appearance and words, and tuning our attention from the material back into the spiritual in all moments of our lives, deeply recognizing spirit in everything. I pulled an excerpt from his writing off of truthunity.net, and he writes, "When we consider the word listen, we think of our ears, but you know, right, that you listen with your mind. Listening connotes receiving in an inward vibration or response to an outward stimuli, and it implies sensitivity to it. Vibrations are everywhere, and you can and must cultivate the ability to hear and heed the message of a transcendent spiritual source within and all around us." He goes on to say, "You are like a radio receiving station. Every moment, thousands of impressions are reaching you, and you can tune into whatever it is that you want. You may hearken to the beauty of nature, or fix your attention on the filth of the streets. You may take in joy or sorrow, success or failure, optimism or trepidation. We have the equipment to hear, but the capacity to hear rightly must be cultivated. We must listen selectively. When this habit is properly formed, we become receptive to higher vibrations of a cosmic flow from which all intelligence springs. It is absolutely astonishing," he says, "what we can do when we walk and work under the direction of that still small voice." Deep listening, you see, asks us to look beyond the surface. It asks us to look past the behaviors and opinions, the assumptions, and even beneath the words. We listen for the emotion, the need, the human beneath. And we use that positive form of mirror neurons. That's where we use your experience, your felt suffering. I know it. I know it within me. And when I can feel what you're feeling, just to a small degree, I see myself in you. And because I know myself as divine, I see that divine in you. So the interesting thing here is that sometimes seeing a Christ in another is actually beginning with seeing the human in them. Understanding the little child still within. The person who experiences that felt separation and the heartfelt reaching and asking, that bid for connection, please help me rejoin, and knowing that experience within ourselves. Listening then becomes our way of saying, I can be with your pain while also holding our collective oneness. Deep listening requires that trusting that God is already present and working in this situation so that our job doesn't have to be to fix. It's to remain in it, just to be here. When we listen from the heart, we become more present, more receptive. We allow divine love to flow through us to meet the other person, to be the glue, to connect us back again. And that divine love is felt through our listening. That is the gift you're giving someone to be heard. You know, as I was writing this talk, the last week and a half or so, I have had the song Bridge Over Troubled Water stuck in my head, just on repeat. I mean, it's a beautiful one, so I'm not really upset about it. And I found many varieties, people doing elaborate, beautiful mixes. It's amazing what we can find on YouTube now. But I started to just sit with this song and why it's coming up for me. And I realized this is a song about unconditional love. It's so beautiful. It's the sacrifice, the steadfast support we give someone, the willingness to say, I will sit in this with you. Offering a bridge is a promise of safety, that we will be a space of safety, a reliable path through their troubled water. We lay ourselves down to emphasize that selflessness, the emptying that we are doing with ourselves. And by our willingness to endure and be close to their troubled water, not get in it with them, but to be close as a safety, to offer that bridge back to connection. So listening doesn't mean we are the savior. It means to see and connect to someone's wholeness. It means creating room and being present for more love. And that's enough. So the gift of being heard starts with presence. It grows with deep listening. And when we can deeply listen within, when we can listen to ourselves, reconnect with spirit, we are ready to give the love, to deeply listen to another. And when we do that and listen in both directions, we both become and discover the voice of divine in everyone. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. I feel heard sometimes, and sometimes it's really good to be listened and listen and hear. And this is what relationships are all about. Let's share this light of listening and love that we have for one another. And so thank you so much, Kayla, for the inspiring message. And now as we get into our offertory prayer, I'm going to pass the podium off to Wendy and let her get a shot at doing the platform. So please welcome Wendy.
Good morning. I want to say thank you, Kayla. That was a very powerful message with many pearls of wisdom. I know, definitely at least one relationship where I can apply this. I mean, in all my relationships, but one in particular. So, all right, I put my big girl panties on today so I can stand up here and do this. Okay, so now it's that time in our service when we give of our tithes and offerings in support of this ministry. The ways in which you can make your donation, for which we are abundantly grateful, will appear on the screen. For those attending service, the ushers will pass around the tithing bowl, and for anyone with spare change, feel free to add it in the building fund at the back of the sanctuary. Now, if you'll join me in our offertory prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way. Okay, and so we'll have music with Lauren, Peg, and Mark. Invite them back up to the stage. Just Peg and Mark. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
I have to say thank you to, am I on?
Are we on?
That's as close as I can get, you guys. Lauren, Kara, thank you so much. Kayla. It really made me, I have a daughter, well, I have lots of kids, but one daughter in particular has been just an impossible life. And as a mom, it's been really hard for me to witness, and I kept wanting to fix it. I mean, just do this, or try this, or say that. Honestly, when I stopped doing that, and I just said, well, I can't tell you what I said, but I mean, it was, I would just say, that sounds awful. That's all I would text back. I mean, she would, and I would just go, yeah, awful. Oh my gosh. And it changed what she told me. All of a sudden, it's like, it's not just doom and gloom every friggin' email. Now that we have, we talk about other things. But it really took me a long time to do that, and great message. I need to hear it every day. Thank you. And thank you. This song is called?
This song is a song of love and devotion. It's called From Eternity to Time. Peg and I first sang this together 45 years ago, but that's another story. Time, you pass your life with me, always knowing just what I'm meant to be, and the mountain of your love is the fountain of my life. Through the darkest ages, you've given me your light, and I know of the treasure that my life will daily bring, and I know of the measure of the love you have for me. In the future I foresee a peaceful harmony, a symphony. I hear the symphony of your love played in my heart, a priceless aria I have searched for since we've been apart. From the vastness of within to walk upon the earth, show and share and teach to me the wonders of this earth. And I see within your eyes what I've been dreaming of, a vision of a new life, a renaissance of love. And I know of the glory I can see and I can feel, and I hear the timeless story of the love you have for me, love you have for me. In the future I foresee a peaceful harmony, a symphony. I hear a symphony, your love played in my heart, a priceless aria I have searched for since we've been apart. From eternity to time. Thank you.
Thank you, Peg and Mark, for that beautiful music. Okay, so now let's bless our offering together. Through Spirit, we know that as we give, so shall we receive. We dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will and your work in the center, in our lives, and in our community. And so it is. Okay, so next Sunday, our guest speaker is Reverend Sophia. Her message will be about when love says yes and when love says no. Love in action is not always pleasing, accommodating, or avoiding conflict. Sometimes love comforts and encourages, and sometimes it speaks truth, establishes a boundary, or releases what is no longer healthy. Join us as we explore the relationship, the partnership of love and wisdom, and how we can act compassionately without abandoning ourselves. So in closing, thank you for joining us today. Please feel free to tell your friends about this Facebook event, as the service will remain viewable on Unity of Kona's Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitch. Today, we hold each other in our hearts as we form a circle here in the sanctuary, and together we sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and "Aloha Oi."
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And as we hopefully listen to one another through this week and make sure everybody gets heard, until we meet again, we'll do Aloha Oi.
Aloha oi, aloha oi, eke ona ona no ikalito. One fond embrace, ahoy ai au, until we meet again.
Ahui ho! Don't forget there's cake upstairs, everybody. So let's have some fellowship until we meet again. Be safe and live aloha. That way we can all get along. Don't always have to agree. Just get along and be kind. A little bit more. Here we go.